Hi. 1 second. Hi. How you doing, everyone? Look, this is a message to Mr. Abbott, the person, the imposter, who calls himself the Prime Minister of Australia. Now, I got a message, and I'm just going to say it straight from the heart, because Mr. Abbott, you were voted in. I don't know how, but you were voted in to represent the Australian people. What part of representing Australian people don't you understand? You you clearly have come into office. You have no benefit to the economy whatsoever. You leech off the tax-paying people, buy those taxes, but you do nothing but prohibit and infringe upon people's rights. Can you tell me, in one simple answer, what benefit does the government of Australia have to the economy of this country, and what benefit does it have it to the Australian people, bearing in mind that you are meant to be the representatives of the Australian people? But clearly, over the last couple of months or whatever time you've been in office, you have done nothing but destroy the fabric of Australia. You know, you've repealed the carbon tax, yes, but what are you doing now? You're entertaining an emissions trading scheme, which is nothing more than the carbon tax. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what you think we are. We stupid or something? I'm not. We're very intelligent people, believe it or not, and we know what's going on, and we can see what's going on. And it's nothing more than a raping, pillaging and looting of this country. That is exactly what's going on. And Mr. Abbott, if you can't come out and be truthful to the public and the Australian people of this country, and I'm talking about not the Australian people you talk about, I'm talking about everyone like me who works, you know, all hours God send to keep your machine going. And then you keep taking and keep taking and keep taking, and people are losing their houses because they're not paying enough, because they're not working hard enough. And then while you sit in your offices putting legislation on people that has nothing to do with them. You create these laws and then pass it on to us to say that it's now law that you must do as we say, when we're going to sit on our asses and doing nothing. You're arguing legislation and law in politics and in the Parliament House with no consultation to the Australian people, no consultation whatsoever. And you're imposing these laws, so that means if you are imposing something on someone, that means you're doing something illegal, because there's no rule of law into it, it's only a force of law. And when a statute and an act gets passed through Parliament, it's something that obviously the people of this country wouldn't agree to. So you push it through legislation, through the Legislative Council, and you call it a law. Well, it's not really, it's a statute or an act. There's no basis or rule of law whatsoever. So if you keep on imposing these laws and what you call laws on people, don't expect people to obey them, because there is nothing on this planet that can tell a man to do anything. Who gives you the right to tell people how much money they can earn and how much money from the Centrelink they can get with all the taxpayers' money they've paid over the years? And you're telling us that we have to go through some sort of process to claim sort of some money that you're meant to be giving us. It's our money in the first place. I don't see what you don't seem to understand about that. You play with people's lives. You play with people's hard-earned sweat equity that keeps your machine going, and then you impose legislation, laws on us to stop us and prohibit us from doing what we need to do to become successful and proceed and progress. But you don't want that. You want the control. And I can tell you something. You know, there is something happening around the world that you need to take very, very pay and take very close attention, because you know you think this whole system is built around control and all of this. Well, it's not. It's built around the hard work of the people of this country to keep you in jobs. And if you ain't doing a good job, we have the right to say, get out, get someone else that will. None of you politicians can do the job, I can tell you that. You haven't got what it takes. You're all bureaucratic. You don't come from a line of people that really care. Because if you did, you wouldn't be doing half the things you do. Seriously, you would not. If your mothers could see you, look at you, seeing what you're doing now. If I was doing what you were doing, my mother would slap me. She would slap me around the face and say, "What the hell do you think you're doing? Look what you're doing to these people." And you're sitting up there with your smug grins and your expensive suits, and you're saying to people that you can't do this, but I can still earn 200 grand a year and more. What is the matter with you people, man? You don't rule us. You're meant to be representing us. You don't represent this country. You represent the corporation. You represent the corporation of London, the square mile. That's what you represent, because that's your God. So don't think that I don't know what's going on here. So, Mr. Abbott, my question to you is, will you come out and tell people the truth? Because you're not telling us the truth. You don't have the truth. Because you couldn't tell the truth if it slapped you in the face. You are deceiving the Australian people. You're deceiving them every single angle, because the merits are in your actions, and your actions have no merit of mine. No, you don't get a merit from me. Your actions are diabolical. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's all I've got to say.